Guys, what's good? Welcome to One Piece chapter 978, introducing to Tobi Roppo. And this chapter was actually, fairly good. It wasn't too good. It wasn't too bad. It kind of served more as an informational chapter, if you want to look at it like in that light. But yeah, let me just actually start off with the chapter. So it starts off underwater with Law, like Law Submarine. It says, "So as planned, I will take you to the secret entrance," and everyone's like, "Yeah." And then we cut over to Law with Okiku, Kawamatsu, Raizo, and Ashura Doji. They're the main ones who are trying to go to the secret entrance of Kaido, of like Onigashima, because if you guys noticed in the last chapter, Onigashima, I think Denjiro explained it, that Onigashima has a hidden entrance, that if you go all the way around the island, there's actually just like a hidden location there where only like the most important people of Wano know about. So since Denjiro acted as a former Yakuza, he's gonna be able to go there, and he knows how to, he told them the way, so they're going there right now. And then we cut over to a scene where all the ships that are above the water, they're sailing onward to dock at Onigashima, and everyone's like, "Get ready, we can get attacked at any moment." And you can see the minks, you can see like the straw hats, Zoro looking badass as hell, he's just like crossing his arms. We get to see Carrot, Brook, Usopp, and Robin there, and then we get to see old man Hyogoro right there with his samurai. And then Kinemon is like, "Are you underestimating us, Denjiro?" And Denjiro's like, "If we were to fail, these past 20 years would have been in vain. Wahaha, look like you went through a lot, but it will soon be over." And then we cut over to Luffy and Kid, who are both on their ships, and they're like, like they noticed something. And then they actually, like, the next panel is just like a huge shot of Onigashima, and everyone's just like, "So this is Onigashima." And then you can see like I actually love the amount of details. This place is huge. Like if you look at the bottom right corner of Onigashima, those are the ships that they're on, and everything else is just like huge. Like the statues, the actual like there's a whole sword there. Like there's a sword right there that's bigger than the Sunny. That's big. Like imagine that. Not even the whole like handle. The handle is big. It's like 10 times bigger than the Sunny. That's crazy. So Onigashima is just huge. And then we cut over to Kinemon, and he notices that a bunch of people in the window, they're laughing. They're in silhouette, but they're having like a beer and all that. And he says, "Looks like they're not expecting an enemy attack. Have they yet to receive Kanjuro's report? If we want to launch a surprise attack, it's now or never." And I just want to pause on that real quick. Isn't it kind of weird that Kanjuro still hasn't reported? Because think of it, Kanjuro literally just flew off in like his own like drawn bird, and in between that time, Luffy and the Straw Hats took care of like the whole entire guards. They had they were about to drink beer to celebrate Jinbei. They started discussing, everyone started discussing the plan. Everyone started being like, "Oh, who's gonna go to the hidden entrance? Who's gonna stay here? Who's gonna lead this? And who's gonna do that?" And then they start going to Onigashima. I'm pretty sure Kanji would have had enough time to go to Raizo and to go to Kaido and be like, "Yo, yeah, they're actually like coming. They defeated them. They found out. What's taking them so long? Maybe maybe Kanjuro really was acting, bro. Maybe he was a Red Scabbard. Maybe he was lying to Orochi. Like instead of lying to the Scabbard, maybe he was lying to Orochi. He's like a double hidden agent, if you want to go that way." But yeah, enough with me, my conspiracy theories. A whole nother theory on that coming later. So we cut over to Nami and the Samurai and the Minks, and they're like, "So this is Kaido's HQ. I've never seen it before. It's gigantic." And it really is, man. Like it really is huge. Like it's just crazy. And then Sanji says Kaido's mansion that's at the very bottom, and then like we get a little like map, tiny little map in Sanji's head of like where that X is, and that's like Kaido's mansion right there where they got to get to. And everyone says like it's a greater distance than we expected. If we are yet to be spotted, a counterattack will be best. And then Usopp points out lookouts, and then like the actual lookouts, they say, "Huh? I could see some ships." So they actually noticed, like the actual guards actually noticed them. But Usopp finally comes in clutch, and he actually used one of his plants to knock them out. So like once he hits them with these plants, they just immediately fall asleep. So no, like they don't gotta worry about them reporting to Kaido no more. So he says there were some shadows over there, but not to worry, they've fallen asleep now. So Usopp finally made himself useful in Wano. Well, I mean, I guess he was building ships with Frankie, but that's besides the point. So now the next panel goes on to say, I understand majority of the plan, but if we were to arrive with such amount of ships in such an open place, our arrival will alert them, and be prepared to disembark at once. So they're pointing out how they have like tons and tons of ship. They're gonna get noticed. Like it doesn't matter how huge this place is, they're gonna get noticed. So the plan is, that's coming up in the future. But everyone starts disembarking the ships. Everyone starts getting off, and then Luffy points out, he's like, "What? The sinks are shipping. What happened to them?" And then Kinemon just says, "They must sink because we will not need ships to return back." And that's kind of crazy. You could look at that two ways. You could look at that either like, oh, we're gonna win this battle, so we don't need ships because we're gonna win and take over Onigashima. It's gonna be ours again. Or we're gonna die and we don't need ships because we're gonna die. So that's kind of crazy. Like, just think of it like both ways. And then Usopp and Chopper are just like, but what if we had to run away? And everyone's just like, but what about the Sunny? And then Frankie's just like, don't even think about it, idiot. And then Jinbei, he's like, we should manage to hide some ships. You gotta disembark first. So they don't gotta throw away the Sunny. Luckily. And then Brooks like, this shows the samurai determination. Do not get spotted. Everyone, don't get caught in doubt. And then everyone's saying, if we win or die, we should be proud to have challenged the Yonko. They're actually challenging 2 Yonkos. Like, think about that. They're actually challenging 2 Yonkos, Big Mom and Kaido. So, bro, that's bragging rights right there. If you survive this, that's automatic bragging rights in the new world, bro. Like, no funny. And then Chopper, he says like, huh? More? And then they're like, since when did these guys appear? Because now there's a whole bunch of people that are wearing the Kaido, the 100 Beast Crew uniform. And they're like, what? Where did these guys come from? And then Robin, everyone's favorite waifu, she's like, but wait, Chopper, look at the end of the bridge. And then he says, the samurais take on the appearance of the bad guys. So there's kind of like it's kind of like a portal. You walk through it and you like automatically get transformed into the uniform of the 100 Beast Crew. So yeah, like once they walk through this like little portal type thingy, they actually get transformed. Like their clothes get transformed. So we go on to Kid. He says, hey, what's this? And then we go over to Killer with his laugh now. He's like, fa 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 fa. It's how our enemies dress like. So they're actually gonna go like undercover. They're going undercover. So I was like, are they really just gonna go in like heads first, just swords in the air, getting ready, just like shouting out? But no, it looks like they're actually doing like this undercover. I'm actually glad that Oda did that because I know Kinemon had kind of like the most worthless fruit in the whole entire series. But I'm like, is it really gonna be used again, or is it just like oh yeah, he had the clothes fruit, then cool. But I'm actually glad that Oda actually he put it back to use. It's not completely useless, so they can go undercover just like they did in Dressrosa. But he says, it's my secret technique. It's my secret technique. Kin's Grand Store. You guys may look like pirates, so attack as you please, but just know the enemy outnumbers us about 1 to 5. And then he says, I highly suggest you make use of my camouflage. And then we cut over to Luffy changing, Brook, Zoro, Chopper, Sanji, and then of course Nami. I love how Oda always just like has to sexualize Nami. Where's Robin, bro? Why didn't you include Robin in this, Oda? Come on, man, come on. But enough with that. He says, however, my technique will revert you back to normal. Back to your kimonos as soon as you take off your costume, or if they get destroyed. So you have to try to avoid as much confrontation so that you wouldn't reveal yourself. So when everyone's just hyped up, they're like, yeah, let the war rain down fortune of us. And then this concludes like the first half of the chapter. So now we're gonna be going to the second chapter. Well, the second half of the chapter. So yeah, let's cut over to that right now. Alright guys, so the second half of the chapter is actually how the Fire Festival looks and how they celebrate. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I was actually wondering it myself, and this chapter really delivered. So we cut over to Scratchman the Pooh. He's like, he's DJing. He's like zwip, whatever that sound is. And then, people are playing the fruit. Everyone's saying like Queen, because like all the girls are like, Queen. And then Queen is just like, if I get skinny, I'll get too pretty. So should I stay big? Which is of course just an excuse for him to keep eating and keep getting fat. And he's like, funk Onigashima, like he's hyping the crowd up. He's like, are you guys getting hyped for this evening? And then he starts shouting out like the different the different ranks of Kaido's crew. He's like, waiters. And I like how Oda did this because we've been in that Oden flashback for so long. I think people forgot like what the waiters and like what the pleasures represent. So Oda like include like a brief little description. So when he says like the waiters, they're like those who are waiting on the smile. And you guys know the smiles are artificial devil fruits. So those are the people that are waiting, like that are currently waiting to get it. Then he says the pleasures, the comedians who lost on their gamble. So these are the people that actually received the smile devil fruit. But the smile devil fruit doesn't always work. So they got the the side effects. So, they have to always keep smiling. They can never go back. They're always laughing. So, the comedians who lost on their gamble, the pleasures. Then he goes on to the gifters. And the gifters are the ones who did take the smile devil fruits and they actually got the powers. So, they're the ones with actual artificial devil fruits. So he's like the gifters. And then the next one, he says the gifter elite. I'm probably going to butcher this. The Shinuchi. Yeah, I think I said it right. The Shinuchi. And everyone's like, yeah. And then he's like the flying six. And then, they don't respond. He's holding his hand to his ear. He's like waiting for them. And he's like, ha ha ha, they never responded. And he's like, let's ignore those jokesters. Now you monster numbers. And then everyone's just like, yeah, like they're all excited. And then he's like, now for Orochi's crew, the Samurai Patrol. Then we cut over to like Orochi, and he says, the only Bawa. And he's like, yes, finally, some guests that aren't such strangers anymore. And then he says like Big Mom's children. And then like in the little, like in the bottom left, it says, huh? And then I thought we were actually gonna see like Big Mom's children, but sadly, no, we don't get to see any of them. I really wanted to see, you know, Perro Sparrow, bro. I want to see him, yeah. And then we actually get cut over to you know, unknown faces. There's like silhouette and then like a woman with a mask, and she says, Queen is better off gone. He just called us jokesters. Did you hear him just now? And then like the other guy says, stop shouting. Well, stop. Shouldn't you be finding new ways to talk about fashion or something? It's worrisome. Ah, so fragile. What are you, my grandpa? He's like, grandpa, shut up. What if? All that stuff. And then, you know, we cut over to little different scenes. We still don't get to see the full faces of these guys, except for Drake. And he says, what if Queen were to die suddenly? Who'd be up next in your opinion? And then the next person says, wouldn't it be you, right? And then Drake says, nah, I'm not interested. And then the last face is, I'll be thankful if you pull out. That goes for the thorn in our side, page 1. You wouldn't want to leave. And then he's like, huh? Like page 1 says, huh? That he gets mad. And then we get a full wide shot of the Tobi Roppo. And you know, they're actually just like, oh my, like, it looks so cool, bro. It looks so cool. So yeah, the Tobi Roppo we're gonna be going from right to left. So from right, she's called Uruti, and she kind of has like a mask going on. So she has like a flower mask that's covering her mouth, and then she has like kind of like black and white. I'm not sure in the anime they're gonna change it, because you know they always change the colors in the anime. But she has like kind of like striped hair. You know, she looks really cool. She also has the corns, the horns that Kaido's crew has. She says, hey Sasaki, if you keep on screwing around like that, I'll tear you apart. The next person we have is page 1. He's also wearing a mask that covers his mouth, but he also has like this long lavish hair that covers half his face. It looks like he's also wearing a hat too, and like with he's wearing a hat too. And he says, seriously, shut up, what? Next person we get to see is Who's Who. Yeah, his name is literally Who's Who's. And he says, can you two brats both be quiet for 2 minutes? And he's also wearing a mask, but instead of covering his mouth, he's covering, you know, his eyes and, you know, his you know, the top of his head, like his hair and all that, because he's actually smoking a cigarette. So, you know, if you cover your mouth, you can't really smoke. So then the next person we get is Black Maria, and she says, Uli-chan doesn't back down from anyone. I like that, with like a little heart right there to, you know, just imply that she's a female and all that. Well, I mean, that doesn't always imply, like Hisoka from, you know, Hunter x Hunter always has that. And then of course we got to see X Drake, who we now know that is an undercover marine. So he says, why do we have to wait like this after being called for? And then the last person we get to see is Sasaki, and he says it's very urgent, finally, an important demand from Kaido, although the result from this is plain to see. And then we cut over to a wide shot. We're going to be talking about this wide shot. So this is a wide shot of the whole Tobi Roppo, and says, isn't this a family matter? Is Kaido dumb or what? And he says, let's not cross that road. So I think what she meant is because remember the last chapter, it got revealed that Kaido has a son, and there's actually been a lot of theories on that. People saying that Kaido's son is actually dead, so that's the reason why he drinks and gets so sad, because, you know, he starts drinking and, you know, he starts remembering that like his son is dead. But then once he gets drunk, he's like, oh, where's my son? And then like the beast crew is like, oh, your son? Yeah, he's over there, we'll go get him right now. And then they'll just like lie to him and wait for him to like fall asleep. So that's a theory. It's not officially confirmed. That's a theory. We're gonna be having way more discussions on this in the future, guys. So yeah, subscribe if you're into that. If not, it's cool. So I actually want to talk about like the size of these guys. So yeah, Uruti is automatically my favorite waifu. Like she looks good, bro. She looks good. That's all I'm gonna say. Page 1, he looks badass. He still has the horns. Everyone has the horns, really. And then except for Drake. Drake's the only one without the horn. Shouldn't that really like give away that he's undercover? But whatever. Then we have Who's Who has like really long legs from the look of it. And then Black Maria, she looks like she's actually like a giant, bro. Like I don't know why. She looks bigger than the rest of them. Like even while they're sitting down, even like the top half of her body, we don't even get to see like her legs. We just see like, you know, from her chest to her like heads up. She looks bigger than all of them. So I don't know, she's kind of like a giant. Obviously not a giant from Elbap, but you know, just like taller than them. And then Sasaki, obviously he's like bigger than all of them too. So Black Maria, Sasaki, they're the largest ones of the group, and everyone else is fairly normal. Uruti has to be my favorite. She's probably the favorite of you guys too, but you know, she's obviously my favorite for now. And yeah, that concludes the chapter. Like I said, this wasn't really like a action-packed chapter like last time, like where Jinbei comes and like blows a ship in half. No, this is actually kind of like a more, you know, giving us a quick heads up into what's happening into the, you know, the fire festival and how it actually looks and who the Tobi Roppo are. Like officially we now have confirmation that who they are, how they look, and all that stuff. How many females, how many males are them. We don't actually know how they fight yet. There's gonna be theories on that soon. But yeah, guys, in my opinion, this was a really good chapter, really solid. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. I told you it's not too great, not too bad. It's just like kind of halfway there, 7.5. But yeah, guys, that's it for the video. Next video is going to be a Boku no Hero video. So yeah, if you're into Boku no Hero, make sure to hit that subscribe. But if not, it's cool. Like I said before, not everyone's into that. But yeah, guys, also comment below to see who came from my gaming channel. See, Paul, I know a lot of people came from my gaming channel. But if you're just like new here, you didn't even know I had a gaming channel, then what's up, guys? Leave your comments below. Just tell me what you thought of the chapter. Tell me future theories that you want me to talk about, discussions, all that. I read all the comments. I reply to all the comments, guys. And if you're into Jump Force and anime fighting games, check out my second channel, well, my first channel, C Paula. And yeah, guys, that's really all to say. Have a blessed day. Love y'all. Respect y'all. Deuces, and hope you enjoy the outro.